Hey you, so in this video what I want to talk you through is a little engine that I've sort of prepared for myself that helps me get anywhere between 10 to 15 leads a day or so. Some of my students challenged me. They were like, oh, you've got 47,000 on LinkedIn, it's not fair. You know, you should be considering us that are smaller accounts. So what I did was I took on a little challenge for myself where I said, I'm going to use Instagram. It's a platform that makes me really, really uncomfortable as a writer, you know, as a text first person who loves email and text. And I'm going to try to figure out a system to actually grow my Instagram audience, but not just grow, monetize along the way. I've been testing it for about 30 days and I wanted to show you behind the scenes so you can test it out, you can have a look. I'll show you a little bit of what is going on as well here. So if we look at my kit dashboard, there's like over 30 days or so, 445 divided by 30, yeah. So about 14 to 15 leads every single day coming through this little model that I'm going to show you, which I've called the social cheat code. So you may have heard me sort of talk about my LAP framework, which is lead magnet, automation, and post, where a lot of people just post. What we've done is we've created a lead magnet first, or an army of lead magnets that I'm going to show you. We take them to a set of automation, whether it's on email or in this case on Instagram, it's on ManyChat. And then when you have the post, then all you have to do is be the creator that you always were, because the automation and the lead magnet handles everything else. So this is the LAP framework. And you may have heard me talk about the MOM, right? Like we've got market, offer, and message. So a really easy way for me to remember this is once you've defined your market and you know what your offer is and you've already got your message, it's time to run laps. So mom's going to run some laps, or I'm going to lap your mom, which sounds really weird. So we won't get into that. So here's another screenshot that I did for the sake of this document over here. So quick context, you know, I've got the 47K on LinkedIn. I scaled my one-person business to 500K a year, selling these silly docs with one post and one email a day. All the students inside Modern Maker have made 4.1 million in total at this present moment in time. So why on earth am I on Instagram? Well, as I've told you, it's basically my students saying I have an unfair advantage. So I took it to the drawing board and I'm playing this experiment and I want to document it. So also my motivation is, as you know, I've now been a recent dad to a beautiful daughter and have 5 pets as well. So digital products are more attractive to me as they bring me leverage. They allow me to be a present husband, a dad, while selling my mind, not my time. Instagram gets me out of my comfort zone. It's video based. I'm still trying to crack the puzzle, but most of all, it has crazy automations. So the experiment is, can we make $100 a day or more using IG and digital products only? And that's how this document was formed that I'm sharing with you today. You know my motivations. I hope you enjoy what's to come below. So enough about me. You already know. Hopefully, let's get into the cool stuff. Now, this applies on any platform. You can tweak it, you know, whether you're on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it may be. Hopefully it works. So the LAP framework, I've always been vocal about how much I suck on Instagram or how little I care for growth. I'm much more of a back-end person. I love my conversions. But needless to say, I've gained 1K followers and 50K views over the last 30 to 50 days, which for an account like that is pretty decent, right? I'm not bringing the LinkedIn gods into this. I just brought that up to give you context or show you proof about my understanding of social media. I feel like I'm on the verge of cracking this IG game, and I want to reveal, most importantly, how we make this magic happen in this little guide, even with a tiny audience. So LAP, The L stands for lead magnet. This is the foundation of everything. You want to create 3 lead magnets that are smoking hot. I love to think of them as a cheat sheet or a guide. That's number 1. A resource. So that could be like, I don't know, top 100 digital product ideas. Number 3, a deep dive document, just like this one that you're reading right now. It's really simple. It's ugly. It's messy. It's a Google Doc. Looks matter less than the context inside. You know, at most I've added like links, some images, and changed the font to whatever this one is, Century Gothic. So every lead magnet solves a specific problem for your ideal client. And I've got 3 of them in my world, as I've explained above. The 1-page cheat sheet guide, it's like literally simple 100-word document with a step-by-step guide, which basically shows somebody a plan that I share on Instagram weekly, or LinkedIn or whatever it may be. It's just like 3 steps to get somewhere in a really simple drawing. We've got a resource doc that could be like, 100 digital product ideas. You can swipe, just list them out. And then my third one is this deep dive doc, like this one that I call the social cheat code. So on LinkedIn, I had a doc for high ticket services. That was my Swipe My Mojo. It looks something like this that I've ran for over a year or so. It's done 91K so far just by existing on different platforms since 2023. But that's not the point of today. As we said, LinkedIn doesn't count in this experiment, right? Anyway, so I've tested 4 or 5 other lead magnets, like to do with content and stuff like that, but I found that these 3 work best. So you've got a 1-page cheat sheet, you've got a resource doc with 100 things, and then a deep dive doc, getting better with the tongue roll here, that work best. So super short, actionable. They should be written from your experience. Don't recycle other guru stuff or some boilerplate ChatGPT stuff, because that sucks and will harm your brand. Then you can soft pitch your offer at the bottom of these lead magnets. It works like a charm when you do that. So yeah, number 2 is automate. As an Instagram newbie, I discovered this thing called ManyChat, and it blew my mind. From what I'm hearing on LinkedIn, there is a company called Prosp that does exactly the same thing as ManyChat. It's the main reason I want to double down on Instagram as well after this challenge, because I want to automate my business. ManyChat basically sends these lead magnets to my audience 24/7 with a little hot keyword. And this is what my Kit account looks like. So I've shared with you earlier at the beginning of this video, but this was April when I actually wrote this doc. So a week or so ago, getting about 475 total subscribers in April. So a net of 245 because I lost 230. So that was like, what did I say at the beginning? 10 to 12 leads. So this has grown since, which is pretty good. So averaging, in this case, 9 to 51 net leads per day. Pretty good birthday month for me, if you ask. This week we celebrated Easter, at the time of writing, and I worked 1 to 2 hours a day. The engine was printing leads and magic internet money for me in the background. So how the magic happens behind the scenes is I create a carousel, a reel, a story. Then I invite people into my world with a keyword like guide 100 doc. You may have seen me do something like that on Instagram. But I don't do it every day. I don't want to sound needy. I want to also give information and educate and tell my story and all of that. But this is sort of what one of the comments looks like, right? They respond with the word 100, in the comments you can see it. So when somebody does respond with that keyword, ManyChat messages them with a link to one of my lead magnets. And the message looks something like this, thank you, here you go, click on the thing. And that happens round and round and round, over and over and over again. So a little note, when you set up ManyChat, to deliver these actions, it can either send them to a lead magnet straight up, like this one, or send them to a landing page where it collects their name and email. So this is what one of the landing pages looks like. And I'll drop this doc in the comments below so you can also access it. But on the left, no email, just the doc. And on the right, an opt-in page. So I like doing both because you now own your email list. And basically on the left-hand side over here, this lead magnet gives them the 100 digital products without them opting in. On the right-hand side, to get the passive income guide, I take them to a landing page where I ask for their name and email, and that can fire off a welcome sequence after. I love using Kit to set up simple landing pages. It's a little more advanced, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty awesome. There's other beginner-friendly options like Gumroad that are free. I've tested both of them. So in this case over here, I've had a few of them here. Like this passive income guide is for $0, downloadable, and it also sends a welcome message. So you don't need complicated tech to achieve the outcome. The only difference is when you list your products on Gumroad, they take like a flat 10% fee, whereas Kit connects with Stripe and the fee is much less. I really like Kit because it is free for up to 1,000 subs or something like that, or 10,000, I can't remember. And then it's like $25 a month after that. So you can customize landing pages, set up sequences and flows. If you get through the tech setup, it's honestly incredible. There's tons of free resources on YouTube or Google, or you can click on this one that I prepared for you in a Loom video that you can swipe. So this is what my sequence looks like. The user comments keyword, like 100 or guide or doc or whatever. The first message is sent, right? Like I showed you above with the 100. And then they get, hey, thanks for commenting 100. Here's the thing. I tag them on ManyChat and then I set a 1 hour delay and send them a voice note sometimes and pitch a paid offer. So these steps 4 and 5 don't happen all the time. Sometimes I just like giving away the goods for free. It's all running around the clock 24/7. So it's pretty good. So we've got L, we've got A, now we've got P, which is post. So what we want to do is create posts to get traffic coming our way now. I didn't invent this stuff. I follow people who've already done this before. Your main dog, Russell Brunson, the owner of ClickFunnels, once said, you got a hook, you got a story, and you got an offer. That's the simple framework we use in our Reels. So when it comes to the hook, we need hooks to grab attention within 3 seconds. It's usually like a short bit of text on top of a background explaining what you're about to do. This is basically 90% of the deal done. If you can get them to stop the scroll, you're playing the game. Otherwise, they'll vanish into the wild. So hooks based on unique stories work best. I've added some templates here for you. It's like how I desired outcome without pain points, like how I get 10 to 15 leads a day without doing sales calls. I got a result in time frame. I struggled with some sort of pain point until I overcame something, and how I went from this pain point to this desired outcome. Really simple how we're like mad scientists doing experiments and then documenting our journey. So you do your cool shit, you document it, and then this how I standpoint, is coming straight from you. So it's interesting, it's insightful. It's so much better than watching how-to educational paint dry in this case, right? So then the last bit is the story, right? What did we say? We've got, not the last bit, hook, story, offer. The last bit of the content, I would say, cool beans. You hook them in, now you want to tell them a story about what you did to solve this problem. Now that problem is a problem they ideally also want to solve, or some desire they aim towards having. I also sprinkle proof to make my story believable. Since I help people make money, my proof is money driven, but you might be in the fitness niche or some other niche. In the fitness scenario, that example could be weight loss or gain, etc. I do this within the first 3 to 4 seconds of my reel, and then I have 3 to 4 steps that make my plan actionable. That means the reader can go and do that thing instantly. This part could be 20 to 60 seconds long. I found keeping them less than 60 seconds works best. And then the last bit of this is the offer. I like to end these types of reels or posts with some sort of an invitation to an offer. It likely sends them to one of my lead magnets outlined in step 1 earlier. They'll get it by commenting the keyword outlined in step 2. This invite or call to action is included both in the reel of the post, or the post itself if it's a carousel, and in the caption, because some people may consume text instead of video. So I want to be inviting them in both of these places because we boogie like this. Must have felt really cool writing this the other day. So for example, comment guide, and I'll send you my passive income guide so you can start selling this week. They go, gimme, 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 you mother flower. And they comment the word guide, and then ManyChat handles the rest. So once they get the goods in a Google Doc or a landing page, that's it, right? So that's how leads and magic internet money comes my way, even when I'm sleeping, eating watermelon, walking the dogs, or being a goofy dad and a silly husband nowadays. Then optional step 4 is fuel. I haven't done this myself. This is a disclaimer, but I've helped students inside Modern Maker do this. So if a post does well, we can add fuel to the fire by running paid ads. The trick here is only to run ads to posts that have ManyChat flows synced to them with keywords, because you want the leads to end up inside your funnel, right? I call it fuel because we've proven the post worked well organically, so we want to give it that extra boost. And Instagram has a boost feature, which is like really beginner friendly. You click 3 buttons and you're pretty much done. Some more techie folks use Meta Platforms Ad Manager. So I've had a student who started with $5 a day and amplified the results. Other students are making 40 to 60K a month with much higher budgets in my one-on-ones. So the more you spend, the more visibility you get, obviously. And setting up your micro offers allows you to liquidate your ad spend. So in essence, you're growing an email list for free after you break even on ads. That's what the power of these micro offers do. That's a topic for another day though. Won't get into that rabbit hole. So quick summary, I think of this as a little money printer. I'm into wizardry and watermelons. So that's why we love making magic internet money. You build the engine once and it works 24/7 for you. But I'm not going to bullshit you. It takes some time to set up. Once you do, you can reap the rewards, right? So I actually talked about some of the rewards here in this little reel. You can see the hot keyword as well that says doc, and the 91K that came through that setup, right? So I don't know why I was putting this off for months. I manually did this stuff on LinkedIn a few months back. I had this post. It got 1,028 comments and I answered them manually. And that's when I said, screw this. I need to automate stuff. Like if we just click here so you can have a look, it was absolutely mental. Like it was selling the same offer doc that is on Visit My Website, the one I showed you earlier. And then asked them to comment doc, and we literally broke the algorithm. It got 1,042 comments, 467 likes. People were commenting doc, etc. It's funny looking back. And then I literally had to edit the post and give them the link because I was getting flagged for spam. But LinkedIn is a different beast, right? So that was my trigger point. But you know, you live and learn. I can't tell you how freeing it feels now to set this little engine up and be able to do what fulfills me offline. If you can, set this up as soon as you can. You'll thank yourself 100 times over, I promise. Since moving this over to Instagram, I do about $100 to $250 per day organically. I also, at the time of writing, shared this. This is my Thrivecart, screen here, where I just logged on, and you can see some days were 100, some days were more. I had a almost $600 day there, and then back down. Sort of broke it down into that and the 5 steps that you have to do. But it's really, really awesome considering how small the account is. It's currently 2,000 followers, all while working 3 to 4 days a week, being this new dad, getting accustomed to it, and enjoying my time being present with family. At the time of writing in April, now is the 8th of May, it was 11:32. I finished up the doc and recorded a $535 day. And it's all coming from this little engine, right? And there's the screenshot of Thrivecart. They recently updated their UI. It all starts with creating your own micro offer, right? Once you get these little micro offers, you build your micro empire. This could be in a Google Doc, in a Notion, in a Loom, on Canva, whatever floats your boat. It's the entire premise to how you start this journey. If you'd like to consider it, here it is. Otherwise, it's been a blast. This is where you can access the micro offer playbook. So I hope this guide was useful and it gave you some ideas on what you can do with automation, with content. And what is the main takeaway, right? It was mom can do some laps. And today we talked about the LAP framework. So power to you. Thank you for watching.